Alright, if you don't know Dan Pena is a complete G. He's like the old Andrew Tate. He was voted the most controversial businessman back in the day. He's a Mexican, and this guy lives in a castle in Scotland. He's a complete G, right? So he is famous for giving a lot of speeches when people die, right? Like when you give a eulogy. And he said the only thing that when someone's in the hospital, the only thing they say when they're dying is, oh, I regret everything that I didn't do.
I'm a world-class eulogy giver. And normally, I like to be called in before they're dead, so I can go visit them in the hospital or whatever and say, what's the scam? What do you really want me to say? And every one of the 17 has said the regrets, and all the regrets are, none of them that they didn't spend time with their family. I wish I coulda, I shoulda taken this risk. I should have done this. Every single one of the 17. Every single one of the 17.
So they don't actually regret things like, I should have went to, my daughter's prom or shit like that. What they regret is, I should have took more risk in business, I should have done more with myself. That's normally what they regret, right?
The worst thing you ever did in your life, the worst thing you ever said to your mother, the worst thing you ever said to your wife, pales in complexion. Remember, I've got 3 regrets. 1, I'm a combat trained military officer who never saw combat. A lot of my classmates are dead. 2, the night before my mother died, here on the grounds, I'm yelling at her, God damn it, don't be such a fucking bitch. You're not going to die. Next morning, she's dead. I'd like to have that one back, but that's the way it is. And the 3rd is I didn't set my goals high enough. Not that I missed most of my kids' birthdays. Not that we celebrated Christmas in January more than we did in December. None of those things. Not that I moved the kids around like a fucking $20 hooker from school to school to school. I don't regret any of that shit.
So it's one night, I wake up with a nosebleed, right? And I thought it's nothing else than just a normal nosebleed, right? But like as soon as I wake up, it just felt different, right? Like I had this weird anxiety in my stomach, right? And it was like a regret. And then my mind was just saying, should have done a deal with Sean, which was a business guy that I cold called, and he was receptive, but I just never did a deal with him for some reason. I never followed up on that lead. And that was the first time I actually felt regret in my life. And it was like a weird, dark feeling. It's super weird. I mean, it's like a weird, disgusting, dark. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like the Doom guy? Like he's got scribbles all over his face. I'll put it up right now. That's what it feels like. So I believe the whole point of self-improvement should be to minimize the amount of regrets you have in life, right? You want to minimize that feeling of waking up in the middle of the night and regretting something that you could have done, that you had the potential to do, but the only reason you didn't do it is because you simply just didn't work hard enough. That should be the one thing I think we all focus on in self-improvement, It's not actually, fucking get this many days on NoFap and shit like that. It should be focused on not having any regrets. And that's what Jeff Bezos says as well. He says, I'm in the regret minimization business. I'm not in the Amazon business or in the, whatever, transportation business. He says I'm in the regret minimization business.
I don't want to regret. When I'm 80, now 90, I want to have minimized the number of regrets that I have in my life. And most of our regrets are acts of omission. They're things we didn't try. It's the path untraveled. Those are the things that haunt us.
And another thing too is, imagine you never start. Imagine how sad that would be. Imagine if I never started my SMA journey and never paid my mom's mortgage. I would have never gone to shout out from Andrew Tate. And that's unlimited motivation for me. I'll always be motivated. I can just always load up YouTube and watch that video, right? Where he says, did alright, right? So that's sick. I was limited motivation. Imagine I never started and I was still, just bullshitting around all day, doing all the, and I'll make a video of all the bullshit habits I used to do. So imagine I was still doing that. And imagine if you never start. Imagine if you continue on this path with shitty habits and all the shit that you're doing. True regret comes from laziness, not from discipline and actually trying and then failing. Even if you try and then you fail, you'll know truly in your soul, okay, I actually tried, but I failed, but I actually tried my best, so you'll still feel good. But if you don't try at all, you're not going to feel good. You're going to be on a low emotional, vibrational state. That's super important to understand. So that's where true regret comes from. So do everything in your power, try your best, and you'll make it.